Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. This is a video that a friend of mine recommended that I do, and I've never really taken the time to think about a video like this, but I mean, it's something that we all, go through at one point, and as you can see by the title, this video is about, the very touchy topic of depression. And I know that depression is probably a darn epidemic right now in terms of like all over the country and even most parts of the world, do have quite a bit of depression right now. Like unhappiness is pretty high in the world right now, and I feel like this kind of a video is really something that you can't write up. You can't really, I mean, you can make notes for it and whatnot, but it's really just something that you kind of have to like just talk to and be open about. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do. Now, before like I get into depression as a whole, I'll probably like just get into a bit of my personal depression a while ago. Like it's been a while since I've been depressed, but I was very depressed at one point. And that was right after I had graduated high school. I was you know, I had planned and I had made all the necessary arrangements to go to the Marines and the military in general. And after going through MEPS and all that good stuff, I finally go to like the processing place and right. And I I was told to do something that would have essentially gotten me in trouble, and so I decided to tell the truth in the matter. And as a result, that that made the process even slower. But I did also I was also essentially told that, because I had like a past childhood issue, I was probably unable to join the military from that point on. And so after a while of just, like trying to get it, I guess, approved and whatnot, like because like I was told by like my recruiter and whatnot that I had to like write a few letters stating that, this was just a childhood issue and whatnot. And practically after like almost, I believe, close to 2 years of like waiting for a response and doing that stuff, not necessarily daily, but just doing my best to stay into touch and trying to make sure everything's going okay. Like during those like 2 years, like nothing was happening, and I was pretty darn depressed. I kind of felt like it was my fault and whatnot. But at the same time, like I knew that it wasn't, but it still freaking had me depressed. I mean, I was just lying in my bed, doing practically nothing all day, every day. I didn't really want to get up and whatnot. I had felt like I had ruined my future, but at the end of the day, that I knew that like I still had a chance, but like I treated this as like, oh, this was my main, break and whatnot, because I had no intention of going to college. So like having this come crashing down really had me feeling like I was cornered or something. But I just wanted to say that I'm not gonna get too deep into anything else, but I just want to say that like I do know like the pit that depression and deep depression can have you in and have you feeling and whatnot. So trust me, I do know what I'm talking about in regards to the fact that I know like what depression is, and I know the fact that a lot of people can feel like no one understands what depression is unless they're depressed, because they're like, oh, what are you depressed for? Like, what are you miserable for and whatnot? And they're like, oh, you're just being sad to be sad. Like, just be happy. Like just be happy. It's just that easy to like just let go of something serious that could have happened to you, or something that you really thought that you needed and whatnot to happen, and it didn't happen. It's not very easy to let go and whatnot. So what I want to do now is to just talk about depression in general, and to kind of give my, like, I guess, advice, if anything, for like anyone who's going through it. Now, I can't, obviously understand what each and every one of you that is watching this video is going through. But I can say that every one of us does have hard times here and there. And for some, it can feel like every day. Trust me, like I'll probably get on here one of these days and actually like talk a bit about my childhood and whatnot. So you'll understand that I do know what it is to be dealt quite the blow from life and whatnot. But I can tell you I do know what hard times are, and every one of us does fall on them. And I know that some of us can feel as though some just fall on harder times, and it's not fair. But the sad reality that we live in is the fact that life isn't fair. There are people who get to be born and they're just born into immense status and wealth, and there are people who are born and they're born into poverty. There are people who are born in perfect health, and there are people who are born like with eternal illness. So if you're looking for fairness, like this is just not the world for you. And we can whine about it all we want to, and we can be depressed over it, but it's just one constant that we just do not have a say in, and that we will never really, for the most part, have a say in. It doesn't matter how much technology and stuff advances. There's still things that we just will not control, and that's being one of them. But we shouldn't let this hinder us and fall into like the pit of anxiety and depression, because at the end of the day, like depression, believe it or not, can usually just be a phase. It can really be a phase in your life. Like I know that pit really just seems like there's no way out and whatnot, but I speak from experience, and perhaps my life isn't necessarily perfect or amazing by now, but it has been far, 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 far worse. And here I am now, and I was able to get the funds to start up a YouTube channel, and now even a BitChute channel, and I'm able to put content out there. I'm able to edit it and whatnot. Perhaps it's not necessarily the best, but it is something compared to what I used to have, which is practically nothing, you know? And I know that, like, I'm kind of just rambling here, but the point of this video is, like, depression is something that I feel like almost everyone goes through at one point in their lifetime and whatnot, whether it be for, a relationship reason, a loss of a loved one, or whatever it can possibly be. It's something that everyone goes through, and I feel like in today's day and age, it's something that probably 90% of the population goes through at least one point in their daily lives because of how, like, stressful today's living is. But it can indeed get better, and there are things that we can do, to make them better. I personally think that but like that whole like military situation that I just explained earlier, like that was probably the most depressed I've ever been in. Honestly, after that, I can't really say I have been depressed because the way that I've really learned to cope with like certain things is I've just learned to like let it go. And I know that's really difficult for people, but like if I can't control something, and I don't mean this like as like some control freak and like some guy that needs to have everything done his way. I just mean like if there are just certain things that I do not have control over, like what's the point of being depressed over it? I can't control the fact that, like that person wouldn't accept me because of a disease that I had. Well, not a disease, a condition I had in my childhood. I can't accept the fact that that person essentially told me to like lie and virtually get myself in trouble. I can't control that. I can't control the fact that like there are some times where I'll be applying for jobs and people aren't hiring me in the timely fashion that I want. But I can't control that. So what? Do I just fall into a pit of depression every time that something pops up that I can't control? The way that I see it, no. I know that some people do see it that way, and so they do, but frankly, all depression will do is just keep you right there. You'll keep you unproductive, and you won't really be able to accomplish anything because you'll be too busy moping around for yourself and whatnot. And even if you are, like, I guess committed to trying to do something, even if you are depressed, you'll find that it'll be a lot more lacking in the fact that you won't really be wanting to do it, and you won't be giving it your all because you yourself are not really feeling your best. So I just want to say that anyone who's going through depression, like, it can, in fact, get better. And I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it will, at least not in the time that you probably want it to. But things can, in fact, get better. And I can assure you, as dark as it may seem, there is probably some gleaming ray of hope somewhere in your life that you have probably got it a lot better than you probably think that you do. Of course, it's not necessarily what you want, or what perhaps even what you need, but there are still plenty of people, even in the most blackest of situations, that might have it a bit better than they'd like to believe. I can tell you that from personal experience. So with that being said, this is going to conclude this little video on depression. And I just want to give a shout out to Poison. You know who you are. You wanted this video, so here it is. You know, it was just kind of like just a me talking video and whatnot, but depression is something that I can't really... I mean, I personally never really write like a big script for it, because it's something that I just really want to be as transparent as possible with, because it's something that is so prevalent in today's day and age. It's something that I feel like, in order for someone to really understand, we shouldn't be like reading verbatim off of something. We should just be talking about it as serious as possible. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and rate the video what you think it deserves. Tell me what you'd like to see in the future in the comments below, and I will see all of you in the next one. Take care and stay safe, people.